Good night. AJ Mahar here. Doing a few videos at once. Same shirt. Right? Same day, same shirt, but it'll look like different day, same shirt when you see the videos. Anyway, who cares? Right. So, are you somebody who's still really struggling because you've been with somebody with BPD? Maybe they discarded you. You don't know if it's final or not, or they ghosted you. Maybe there's been contact, and then maybe not for a little while now. And you're ruminating, obsessing on them, because everything just really hurts. And I work with a lot of clients, and people are telling me these things all the time, right, in their experience. And they want to recontact the ex, first of all. But the reason so many people will say, and I wonder if you can relate to this, or if this was maybe something you were going through, or maybe you're just new to it. Can you relate to wanting to talk to the BPD Ex, whether it's on again, off again, they ghosted you, discarded you, there's still some contact or hasn't been contact for a while now, or you got cut off, ruminating, obsessing, and trying to help yourself out with this, watching all kinds of videos and stuff, hopefully getting some good information, because there is good information out there aside from me as well. But a lot of it's crap out in this, like carousel of like echo chamber of everybody writing about their own experiences in these relationships. And sometimes people can help each other for sure, but there's so much misinformation that comes with that. Anyway, are you really, so you're the ex right now. You might be in limbo, you might not know what's going on. But no matter how hard you try, like maybe you've done some work with someone, I'm working with people now struggling with this kind of thing as well, and have been over the last 35 years. So you might know more intellectually, but emotionally, are you still sort of having that struggle of, I just got to contact him or her because, well, I feel so bad about everything that happened. And I feel so guilty because people with codependency. I'm feeling guilty. I'm feeling bad. I don't want it to be over. I can't stop thinking about them. I don't know why this happened. Like, whatever it is. And then it's like, well, I just know I got to contact them because I can't, I can't let go of all that I did wrong. Right? So, a person with BPD blames you for everything when they ghost or discard you. Or there's a breakup. They're yelling and screaming, or maybe it's more quiet, or whatever the case. But they're raging at you, and they're saying, "But you did this to me, and you did that to me, and you never loved me, and you're the worst person I was ever with," and blah 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 blah. After they told you how much they loved you, like before, and whatever. And now it's like, so they blame you for everything, and a lot of people get blamed for everything, get really angry, and tend not to want to accept that because, no, like I was giving all I could give, and what are they talking about? That I didn't do anything for them. Like, that's so painful for so many people. I did so much for him or her, and now they think I did nothing. What? It doesn't make any sense. People are angry, people are hurt, but still there's this thought. Can you relate to this? There's this thought, like, you go all around those circles, right? Those loops, the thoughts, the obsessing, the ruminating, the pain. It's horrible. And it's really hard to get off your mind. And if you can get off your mind, sometimes that's great. But like a lot of people, it's almost 24/7. And then you're in this place called, I gotta contact them because, well, maybe, even if like we can't talk, maybe I'll just get an angry response back and they'll blame me more and they'll tell me how horrible I am. And then I won't have to feel guilty if I just, somehow just let it go from there, right? In other words, accept maybe what's already happened. Get into your own healing recovery journey for that. I'm out here to work with you if I resonate with you. So, people have put it to me this way. I need to recontact them because maybe they'll be angry with me and then I'll feel okay about it not working out. That doesn't work, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. That is some kind of a Jedi mind trick that you think in fantasy you think it's going to help you. It's not. And then it's like, well, so I've asked clients who've talked about this, and inevitably, I think I could say that, there are patterns, right? It's not everybody gives the same, like, exact word answer, but, like, So what if you contacted your ex and they didn't give you an angry, maybe they don't respond at all, and then you're still left where you were, which is your responsibility now anyway. That's the best of those two scenarios. You're going to contact your ex and they're going to be angry, and then you're going to somehow think that you're going to feel better with going, okay, it can't work. I got to do something about this fantasy bond now that's like really hurting me and making me feel like I don't want to go on in my life, which a lot of people are saying these days. It's really harmful. It's really, really terrible and really painful. Or maybe the door will open again. Maybe they won't be mean and mad and angry. And maybe they'll be like, hey, nice to hear from you. Why don't we, or open the door so that if you're the person recontacting your ex, you can say, well, hey, would you like to have coffee? Would you like to have a chat? Would you like to whatever, right? And so then what does that really mean about what was the real reason, or what is the real reason for the need, as people describe, to get back in touch with EX? It's not really the first reason at all. It's a want for a do-over. It's a want for a relationship recycle or another relationship recycle. And they don't work. And each time you do a relationship recycle, if that's possible and you keep on going back for more, they keep reverse hoovering and you keep opening the door, and it's on again. And then it's off again. And then it's on again. Because remember, they have their patterns. Repetition compulsion patterns aren't going to change without therapy. And oh yeah, that's right. You as a codependent, you have your repetition compulsion patterns too. Not saying the same as the person with BPDs exactly, but they tend to overlap sometimes, often for people. And then it's like this recontact thing, recycle thing. And as I've said in other videos, when you get into the recycle, then the whole cycle between you and the person with BPD, and specifically their repetition compulsion cycles, without the repair cycle, because that's just fantasy intermittent reinforcement stuff. It isn't really real. You can't hang on to that because it's going away again. And these cycles speed up every time you do a relationship recycle. So you're ending up like, oh, maybe it's great for like an hour or a day or whatever. Something wonderful happens there. And that kind of takes your pain away, right? Oh, but you're just getting primed to get back to the pain because sooner or later, usually sooner and faster, they're going to ghost you. They're going to discard you again. And you're going to be back in that place again. And then you're going to be like, well, maybe, I feel like they blame me for everything and I'm really upset because that's not fair and that's not right. And I tried to give them so much and I tried again. And on the 8th recycle, I was still trying really hard. And now, well, I just feel so guilty. Like this person with BPD they're hurting so much. I have to do something. I have to get them back. I have to recontact them. They have to either give me that angry message so I can go, oh, okay, it doesn't work that way. Or because it's a want to recycle again or a want to get them back. And if you get them back, you're just going to get more of the absolute same that you just had. It's not going to be like these people out there talking about, oh, get your ex back, do all this no contact strategy of the yada yada of the, oh, is she at this point now? Are you at this point? Did you tell her this? Did you do that? Whatever, and getting your ex back. You're going to get your ex back if you get your ex back to go around the same cycle again. What purpose does that have? Except you get all re-injured again, get all hurt again, and then you're in the same place you were in before. And or before. So this idea that you need them after they blamed you and told you that you're horrible and the worst person they've ever been with and you weren't even good in bed and blah, 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 everything becomes negative. And you hear all that and it hurts really badly, but you still want them back. But then you think to yourself, well, no, maybe not. Maybe I just got to contact them because I need them to be angrier with me so I can finally get like it's over. Huh? Do you see how that's like your emotions running wild with you? And then, so people do this and often recycle. And it's such a slippery slope. Even people who've been no contact for 6 months, 10 months, a year and a half, 2 years, or longer, can end up back in this little cycle of fooling themselves in a fantasy way of thinking that, well, But now if we try it again, it'll work. Now it'll work. Yeah. Going forward, it'll work. Based on what? Based on, did she go to therapy for 10 minutes? Did he go to therapy for 10 minutes? Did you figure something out? Like, now you understand. I've heard this so often too from clients and in general out here, like on the channel and such. Well, now I understand BPD so much better. I think I can give more. I think I can do better. I won't do this like I did that when I could have done this, and that might have made it better. Mighta. Woulda, coulda, shoulda. What if it would? It doesn't. Because this is the thing about people with BPD. You think, well, I handled these situations by doing this. Or I was still hurt, so I couldn't be there for him or her right when they wanted to like suddenly do something because they got out of their bad mood and yelling, screaming at me or giving me the silent treatment. And then they wanted to go do something I really wanted to do. But I just didn't feel it, man, because I was really hurting and I couldn't help it. And then people think in the in-between or off time or when it's over, but you still think maybe you can get back there. And it's going to work out when you get back there. No, it isn't. People are thinking, well, I didn't handle that right. It's my fault because, she was crying. He was raging, but like he was in so much pain, I could see it. And like, what? Like, what about you? Because they don't see your emotions. You're not seeing or heard, and you're just, giving up more of yourself. And you so want to just be there because I've had so many clients say this to me over the years, and people really feeling it. I am not mocking this. This is serious. I have empathy for people in this situation, but you have to make a new choice and able to move forward so that you can heal, so that you can accept what's going on, so that you don't stay in that ruminating, obsessive place, because that place is called you. Maybe not consciously realizing, but you're doing everything you can to focus on them because the dependency of getting them back and it's going to work this time, because otherwise you will hurt like hell and you don't know how to maybe cope with that pain. You don't know how to face that pain because that pain is yours and it's waiting for you. It's not all about the person with BPD, and they might have hurt you a lot and they might have done a lot of horrible things to you, but they're not responsible for everything that's going on inside of you because you couldn't get there into this relationship and the rumination and the cycling and all this stuff and the obsession if you didn't have some kind of woundedness somewhere in the same ballpark in childhood. Doesn't mean that you have to have a borderline parent or anything. Doesn't mean that. Is that for a lot of people? But here's the thing. So you're really in this fantasy bond chase for intermittent reinforcement again, so you can get that hit and that validating, verifying, not really, fantasy of, it's working again. Oh, it's going to work again for a very short period of time until you start seeing everything else again. But that intermittent reinforcement hook of the trauma bond is so strong. It's stronger than most people coming out of these relationships are emotionally. So how many times have you done this? How many times have you wanted to do this? Do you want to do this again? There are people that are 5 and 10 years out of these relationships, and they're still ruminating. Maybe not 24/7. Maybe it's better, but maybe they really haven't moved on with their lives. And they're still thinking, maybe I should, because if we hooked up again, like if I could just talk to him or her, could be that like it could just work. Because I know so much more now, and I could do more for them, and like, what is that? It's tragic repetition compulsions in codependency, and the intermittent reinforcement of a trauma bond, yes, but it's even more so along with that, the fantasy of your codependent denial that this can somehow work. Never mind what your wounded inner child is trying to do unconsciously with all of this, right? Like, why can't you just accept that it's over, even though it was awful and it's left you in a horrible place and a lot of pain? Because that's your growth opportunity. But no, So many people, some people take that growth opportunity and battle through it. I've worked with lots of clients doing that, and they've done really well, and they're happy today. And I hear from some of them, and their new relationships are going well. Some of them, it's been 5 or 8 years since I worked with them, and they're married now, and some have started a family. Some have picked up with maybe like a new partner's already family type thing, and they become a family. But if you're still sitting there going, but I could have done better, if only I did this, if only I did that, I feel so guilty, I feel so bad because they hurt so much. Like, let's take the case, for example, of a man or a woman, actually, with quiet BPD, and they cry a lot. They don't externalize a lot, but you get into these conversations and they're like, but I don't feel like you love me, and I feel like you're going to abandon me, and and all that sort of like chaotic drama stuff, and that you can't really communicate with them about, etc. And then you don't know what to say, or you're hurt, and so you hold back a bit, and then you're like, oh my God, I did the wrong thing. There's no right thing you can do there to satiate the borderline and make the relationship work. But then they cry. Yeah, and sometimes men with quiet BPD will cry a lot easier, as well as some women will with quiet BPD. Because that when they're getting engulfed inside with all that's going on, the tumult of their triggered dysregulated emotions, no, they don't manifest it outwardly. They can get really cold. They can get like sort of, cold and silent and angry and go away. Or if they're with you there still, partially, they're going to cry. Because that's where their anger goes. And you might think, well, that's pretty good. That's not a big problem because, if they just cry when they're angry, like, I can handle that. But still, it's going to be all-encompassing, all-consuming, and you're going to be feeling all sorry for them because, oh, look at how much pain they're in, and they might be in a ton of pain. But as you're looking at how much pain they're in, and you feel so bad for them, and you feel so sorry for them, and you do, what about you? What about your wounded inner child inside who's screaming, like, what about me? Ah! And the thing is, and so you just keep trying to give and give and give. And are all those tears from every quiet borderline real? Have you ever thought about that? And what if they're high functioning and they go out into the world and they have a career? And so does that mean they're authentic in the world? No. It means they find a way with different kind of maladaptive coping mechanisms, or even maybe some on top of the maladaptive coping mechanisms that are like adaptive coping mechanisms. And then they go out into the world and they kind of fake it. Fake it successfully, though. Fake it through their career. Fake it through their job days. Fake it through their career days. Does that give you a thought at all that maybe if they can be that strong and that, unfortunately, not authentic, that maybe when they're crying and crying and crying in front of you, yes, maybe they're feeling a lot, and maybe some of those tears are really real. But what if not always? Ever thought of that? What if they're just pulling for more and more and more from you, and at the same time repelling what you try to give? These relationships are impossible. And so are you on the precipice, or are you somebody who just did, or are you about to, or are you still not, are you sure yet that you're not going to try to go back to the ex because you feel so bad for them? I know some people right now have BPD exes. They hate them. They don't feel bad for them. They're mad as you know what at them. And of course, this is all the people out there vilifying everybody with BPD because your ex did whatever that was horrible to you. It's not the same for everybody, even though a lot of people out there are like, mine too, mine too, mine too. It's trite. It's inhuman, actually. It's not that dislike cruelty. However, here's the point. There's been many points. Here's another point. If you still believe that you're feeling so much for the person with BPD, and you might be, consciously and partially, yes, but you're hurting way more for you at this point. Chances are you really are. But so what might that set you up to do? Not by the person with BPD, but internally yourself. What might you unconsciously then reach out to try to do in repetition compulsion to like be feeling so bad for that borderline, apologize to them because after all they insulted you all to where and you were really hurt. But right now, what matters is that they're really hurting. Then you need to be there for them, right? Do you think that's altruistic? Do you think that that's all about them? You think that's not about you too? You think that's not something you need inside? That you need to get back into that intermittent because you haven't broken the trauma bond, and you need another hit of, that intermittent reinforcement, which is so damaging over time. And here's the thing. So if you think that when you're feeling so much for the person with BPD that you got to get back in there and, you don't even realize what you're feeling. That's your own pain that you need to take care of, lest you start to fall apart physically and or emotionally at some point, because nobody is built to live that way. Always feeling for others, it's too much empathy, it's too much compassion, or it's wayward compassion. It can even be codependent projection of compassion for the borderline and all their agony, because you're in agony and you're not paying attention to your own agony, and so you want to get back with the borderline. You want to help and fix and rescue and change. Yeah, but you're in it for you and what you're looking for and what you need from them. Oh, well, what happened in your childhood? Because that's going to matter right there. Out here to work with you, or resonate with you. But the other point is, you're going to be seeking what you're seeking, maybe still unconsciously, from that person with BP that you're trying to get back to rescuing and everything like that, because you care so much. And I'm not saying you don't. You do. You care too much. And it's hurting you. But if you're going back, or if you're thinking about going back because, I can do it better now, you'll never be able to do it better for an untreated borderline. Ever. It'll never work out. It'll never satiate them. They'll never be agreeable with you. What do borderlines do, as I've been saying recently, and, for all time, really? They punish codependent loyalty. They punish when you feel for them, because they can't take that in. Because a normal person would be like, if they're really hurting and you're there like, oh man, I really care, and empathy, and they'd be like, oh, thank you so much. But but no, not people with BPD. You come on back and give them more of that, they're going to get annoyed with it. You're going to get punished for it every single time, and you're abandoning yourself. And what's the other aspect of this? As I've said already, want to make it really clear here. If you're turning back to go back with somebody with BPD and you are ruminating and obsessed with them, it's just more of what's going on deep down in your unconscious you're not aware of yet. More of you abandoning you because you're trying to get what you need from them. Just like in another way, in a more primal way, they're trying to get what they need from you. And here's a little kicker for you. The borderline can't rescue the codependent, and the codependent can't rescue the borderline. And you can keep trying to make the fit. It keeps them. Why? You're going to waste any more time of your life trying to escape your own pain in codependent repetition compulsions called, I gotta help the borderline because they're hurting so much. Oh, they never see me. Oh, they never care about my feelings. But yeah. Well, when are you going to see you, and when are you going to care about your feelings? Out here to work with you the day that maybe you want to explore that. In the meantime, I hope you think about it. Hope it's food for thought. Maybe it hit the odd place for people emotionally so that you can decide, I have to cut this out. I don't know how. I don't know how to cope with it. It's too painful. I can't stop thinking about them. I can't stop worrying about them. They're in such dire straits. You're in every bit of dire straits as they are in a comparative way, not the same way, when you're in this cycle of, well, I could do it better now. They're hurting so much. I feel so guilty because I'm letting them down. Meanwhile, what'd they do for you? Where were they when your mother died? Where were they when a friend died? Where were they when your dog or your cat died? Because they're nowhere to be found, untreated borderlines, when there's actual real loss and you have a real need. Where are they when you say what you just did, whatever it was, I feel really hurt, or I feel disrespected because, or are they going to have that conversation? No. So how come you feel so much for them that you're abandoning you? Because you really need to feel that for you. You're projecting it out over there. What?